What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant, and this week we are doing something different. I am lucky enough to be in Marbella. My good friend's Paul House, and I've got my good friend Ben here with me.
Hello, everyone.
And I thought, rather than get Gary on, I'm going to leave him in Liverpool and talk about Everton on his own podcast here across the park. I've got Ben here, who happens to be a massive Man United fan, and with it being the battle of Liverpool and Manchester this weekend, I thought we could have a little chat about that and just get into this week's sport. So, Ben, nice one.
No problem, mate.
First pod?
It is actually, yeah.
Is it?
No, I've done a couple for work. I had Wes Brown on, of course, me being a big United fan, but that's about it, to be honest.
Do you know what, on that one, to start with, obviously went on your stag do, met Wes Brown. What a nice fella.
The best. The very best. Most genuine lad you could meet. Sometimes you forget what he's achieved.
2 Champions Leagues.
Scored him against Liverpool as well. He did, I remember it. I think it was 3-0.
Well, just without bloody name dropping, but yeah, on the stag do straight away, he's one of the first people I've spoken to.
Yeah.
And and again, yeah, I remember, don't tell him this, but I remember looking at his Wikipedia when we got to the hotel, just to look at like the stuff he'd won, because you forget, don't you? Like he won absolutely everything.
Well, he tells quite a good story, actually, that I'm sure he won't mind me saying. He was on 250 quid a week, I think, when they won the Champions League in '99, and they were all getting a serious bonus for winning it. So when you see him, if you watch it back, when Sheringham and Solskjaer score the goals, he goes pelting down the touchline. Obviously, he's a fan and he's been there all his life, but he probably did have a thought, I'm getting seriously weighed in here. And another similar story he told was he used to get on the bus to training because he couldn't afford to get there any other way. He was paying his mum rent 250 quid a week. It might have even been less, actually, at the time. And he got in a bit of an altercation on the bus once, some lads kind of picking on him or whatever. And he got into a bit of a tear-up. And Fergie pulled him and said, "What are you doing? Getting in this trouble on the bus and all that." And he said, "Boss, how else can I get to training?" "So you get taxis." He said, "I can't afford it." He said, "Look at what..." And Fergie hadn't realised how little he was on.
Why?
I think actually Roy Keane ended up doing a negotiation for him. I think I might be speaking out of turn there to get his increase in wages to make it
Fergie's on record as saying he's one of the best English centre-halves, yeah?
Yeah, naturally, yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, hopefully you can see Ben, he knows his stuff about footy, big footy fan, unfortunately United, but this is how it's going to be. And there's a big weekend. Before we get into this weekend, the big news this week has been Everton being docked 10 points.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts. Forget about we'll go into like the kind of bits on Everton, but just as a United fan, does it bother you at all in any way, knowing that City have got this kind of 115 or hanging over them, and you look at Everton?
We kind of touched on it last night, didn't we? And I'm trying
we could have done a sportscast the other day, by the way, all the footy chats we've had so far.
Yeah.
But...
So take away my red tinted glasses. I don't know enough about. I've seen it all over Twitter and all over social media, and City get hammered. I don't know enough about the intricacies of what they're allegedly have breached. My immediate gut feel is it's harsh on Everton. Imagine the players, imagine the manager who've done really well recently, having that kidney blow that you're back down to 19th, and you really had scrapped hard to get where you'd got to. I just don't know enough about what they've really done to comment properly on it,
I think in some ways, though, it's been the best thing for Everton. I think, number one, if there's going to be a season where you're going to get docked 10 points, this is the season to do it, because I think the 3 teams that have come up are really, really poor. There's probably 4 teams that are worse off than Everton. I mean, the fact that they've got docked 10 points and they're not even bottom
says a lot about the league. Everything. Yeah.
I
don't want to, as a United fan, I don't want to be playing them this weekend. I think it'll be a very intimidating atmosphere at Goodison. I'm not sure how the current crop of United lads will react to that. The fans are going to be right behind them, aren't they? It'll be interesting to see how the players react, whether it's really, like I say, knock the wind out of them or whether they come out fighting. But I'd be lying to give any kind of opinion on whether they should or should not have been docked, whether Chelsea should be docked. I hear all kinds of stuff about Chelsea, of people who seem to be in the know that one day it's going to come back to bite them, but I couldn't say with any real meaning.
Yeah, and it is all this and just social media and little snippets and rumours, isn't it? But I think on the Everton thing, number one, the dock 10 points, I don't think it'll matter. They'll still stay up because the league seems to be that poor at the lower end. Number two, it's going to galvanise the players, which you've just alluded to. I think now it's this kind of, siege mentality.
Yeah.
Everyone's against us, up against it, and and I think it'll start this weekend against United. And thirdly, I think this kind of dark cloud that's been over them for the last couple of seasons, knowing that at some point we're going to get whacked with it.
It's off.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, the weight's off the shoulders.
I think they can move on. So in some ways, although it is really harsh, I think it's the best thing to happen to Everton.
Yeah.
And all it's done is maybe then shine the light on the likes of City or Chelsea, who potentially might have this to come further down the road. So, I mean, it'd be interesting, again, go and check out the Across the Park podcast with Gary to see what he's got to say as an Evertonian. But for me, as a football fan in general, I think Everton will be all right with it.
Yeah. You don't want to see it, do you? You want it to be a level playing field. I know that's what the whole point of financial fair play is, but to kick someone in the bollocks like that halfway through the...
Yeah. It seems harsh.
Yeah.
On United then, I'll be honest, the start of the season, I was really, really worried. Obviously, you got to 2 cup finals last season, and I just thought you were a team on the up. I know you've had the problems with... In fact, going back a couple of more seasons, I remember thinking that Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho were going to be the new Salah, Mane, Firmino. I was thinking that front three could cause some serious damage.
Yeah.
2 or 3 seasons on, you've got Rashford, not in the greatest form this season. You've got Greenwood's been moved on, albeit on loan, and you've got Sancho out of favour. I mean, the start of this season, I thought Ten Hag's the man. I think if there's anyone that's going to bring some sort of success, but not to the success of Fergie, of course not, but some sort of success to United, I thought he's going to be the man. And it's just, I don't know. Well, as a United fan, how are you looking at it?
I had the same view of Ten Hag. I think it'd be a bit impulsive for me to write him off. I think there's something there. There's no doubt if you had a one-on-one with him, you'd be saying, hang on a minute, how have you signed those players that you've actually worked with before? Mason Mount, I think, was an unnecessary signing, and
You're a fan of him? I'm a bit unsure on him.
I feel harsh saying it because he's got work ethic. Apparently, he's a fantastic pro. Whenever he played against United for Chelsea, I thought he was decent. He probably had a more defined position then. I think he doesn't. No one really knows where he's playing at United. But I did say at the outset, for the money that Mason Mount cost, we could have had Ward-Prowse and Maddison. Right. I believe Maddison's a United fan. I believe Maddison was holding out to come to United. It's a no-brainer who you would rather have had.
And the start he's made for Spurs as well.
Yeah, he's just a exciting, creative, someone that you wouldn't really fancy playing against. Ward-Prowse, quality player.
Yeah.
I think he's probably overlooked a bit too much for his ability. Going back to Ten Hag, I'd pull him to one side if I had the chance and said, come on, Anthony. You've worked with him.
Yeah.
He's simply not quick enough, He's just not got it. How much would you get for him tomorrow if you sold him? 10 or 15 mil, I don't know, max.
Do you know on the Sancho thing as well? And I think me and Gary have talked about this on previous shows. Gary come up with a bit of an analogy or a bit of an idea that he's handled the whole Sancho situation wrong, and he's maybe lost the dressing room on it. Maybe by treating him a bit harshly or something, and it's a difficult one to know in business yourself and stuff, and being a leader and being led by people. There's this whole ego thing in professional sport, etc. And I think, I don't know who's in there, I obviously don't know what's happened, but the whole in the right and the wrong, he needs to apologise. No, he needs to apologise. He needs to treat me better and stuff. It's all a bit up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not in the days of the likes of Roy Keane, older pros, where they'd probably just get their arm around a younger player and say, just shut the fuck up.
Get over your, even if he's technically in the right in terms of what he's claiming. Again, we don't know the ins and outs to it, we just speculate, but you've got a career there, and it's a short career. And if you've got the opportunity to apologise, even though you shouldn't, we've all done it in life, haven't we? Where we apologise just for the sake of
mostly to your
peace.
missus, probably.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And you've got a short career, mate. Somebody needs to pull into one side and say, listen, I know your pride's there. I know you think you're right, but there's only going to be one winner here. Let's get you playing. Again, whether he's good enough is a different question. Whether he's quick enough for the Premier League is a different question. I don't think we've really seen enough of him to judge. But you'd like, for United's benefit, you'd like to see it put to bed. No, it's just saga after saga, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think he's been a bit unlucky with, Ten Hag. I will say that, with whether it's his own fault or not, the Sancho thing. I think the Mason Greenwood thing, that's, he's been the manager when it's happened. He's got to deal with it, because again, what a talent he was as well before all that.
Yeah, from what we saw, yeah.
So I think he's been unlucky, Ten Hag, in some ways. But
I'll tell you what, as a Scouser, could you admit that United have been absolutely shafted by VAR overall, or do you not really?
Over what?
Oh, jeez. Right, I think there's been... I would say United have been the most harshly treated club by VAR.
Oh, my God.
Really?
This just took it saying... Go
really?
On. When?
Garnacho, Arsenal away. The ball out of play with Rashford at Brighton. You'd have to have a bit of a query over the Scott McTominay goal that got disallowed when they said that Harry Maguire interfered.
No, I think he went for the ball, Maguire.
Yeah. Was it that? I don't know. I say.
So hang on, let me get this right. No, hang on. This is because this is
really
you've just give me some rope here. You've hung yourself here a bit. So you think VAR? Where would United be then if VAR hadn't? Come on, I respected your football knowledge here a sec, Ben.
We would have gone 2-1 up
away at Arsenal early in the season. That is pretty definitive in how your season pans out, I would have thought.
All right,
well, listen.
Liverpool got done by Spurs. We're still second in the league.
I think if you had a look, and I wish my memory was better, it's terrible, but if you had a look at the for and against decisions on VAR for United, you'd be very, if you're totally neutral about it. Listen, by the way, it might be about time. We had Fergie time. We had loads of luck with the refs over the years.
Do you know what? Actually, I will give you something. Actually, there must be some substance to what you're saying, because I saw a tweet actually from Gary Neville, and he said something about it. Right?
It's like -4.
Okay, yeah. You know what? Actually, you've just reminded me. There might be something to what you're saying, but you've also given me another point. On this tweet, someone had tweeted Gary Neville and saying about time, and there was a montage, right, of when United played Arsenal years ago in peak Fergie, and it was when Rooney dived and got the pen. Sol Campbell pulled his leg back, Rooney dives.
They were great games. That was when football was football. That was when the Prem was the Prem.
And Reyes, God rest his soul, he's passed away now, hasn't he? He gets booted like fuck all game.
We had to target him, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, mate, you should have had 10 men. Eight men after
we went for him, and that was because actually Arsenal then were a classier team.
Yeah,
they were more scary.
So maybe you just get your comeuppance.
Yeah, no, but your question was about Ten Hag, and I think it's not his fault that we used to benefit from the rub of the green. There's something there. Who else do you bring in?
Yeah, no.
When does it? People said Pochettino. Look how he's struggling now at Chelsea. He'll turn it around. But
you know what I think? I
think we're about to hit a good bit of form. And we've had a lot of injuries.
Table,
Yeah, but I said to you, didn't I? Again, take the red glasses off. You've got to look at that top of the form table. Great. We've not played one top 10 team in that form table. I think it's based on 5 games, isn't it? And hey, we're in the mix. I think we're only 67 points off top of something crazy. But let's see how the next couple of months pan out. If somebody said to you now, you get top 4, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you will this season. But the last thing I'll say in United is I think the harsh reality for United fans is you are... How long is it since you last won the Prem?
2013, is it?
10 years then. Okay, you are a third of your way through your 30 years of what Liverpool went through. Because I don't think football's changed so much since Fergie. With the money in and stuff like that. I think it's just United have been an institution in our lives, anyone our age, of just winning all the time. I just don't think that will ever happen again. Of sustained success for United.
It won't sustain. I think you'll be surprised how quickly, you're just alluding to it, but if you look at how, for example, Newcastle and Villa have changed, that's the immediate ones that come to mind, or Brighton. United could very quickly, with a club of that size, could very quickly turn it around. But listen, we're miles off City. Everyone's miles off City. But in fact, that brings me to, if you don't mind me saying, last night, after a couple of glasses of red maybe, you said you thought Liverpool will win the league, right? So I had a look at the bookies before. You're 5-1 to win the league.
Fives?
I'll give you 7.
I think that's buying money.
I'll give you 7-1.
Okay.
But your maximum bet's 200 quid, because I don't want to be
too
out of pocket.
I feel guilty taking any more off you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to put it? Oh, you're going the full max?
Yeah, the whole max, yeah.
Right, okay. And it's there in evidence.
Okay.
Right, okay, great.
I just think maybe we'll go on to Liverpool and City now.
By the way, knowing my luck, City will then get the points, and then, you know what I mean?
We win by default.
Yeah.
So brings us nicely on to City and Liverpool. We had a good chat yesterday, me, you and Paul, about the kind of financial fair play stuff, and about I am definitely bitter with me Liverpool glasses on how we've missed out on leagues a couple of times on the last day of the season. This 115 charges above them and over them. There's been some cracking games over the years. The reason I think we'll win the league this year is, although he's top goal scorer at the minute, I don't think Haaland will score as many as he did last season.
They've won the league before without him.
Of course they have, yeah. But they had more playmakers, I think, then.
Right.
I think there's going to be a hangover from last season. I think Liverpool proved it when we nearly done the quadruple. I don't think players in the attacking kind of... I mean, all what I'm saying now, it sounds ridiculous because the top of the league.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I don't think Grealish is getting enough goals for them. I said on last week's show.
And then they've got Doku and Foden. By the way, De Bruyne has not played.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. They've been unlucky with injuries. And I just think, I don't know, there's just something not quite... I know City are renowned for the last, from February, March, that's when they really kick on.
Yeah. United used to do that.
Yeah.
God, sound bloody hell. Sounds so sad saying it, don't I
don't know.
There's a time when if you really need to slip through the gears, some clubs have got it, some haven't.
Of course, Arsenal
and
proved it last season.
Liverpool never have. You're a couple.
They have. Are you kidding?
Well,
you've got your 90s glasses on. The last few years, Liverpool. We won the league by 99 points we got, because we just went unstoppable from about Christmas. And then we took City, the best team in the world, to the last day of the season. So Liverpool, I think, have got it. And I think they're the only team, I think, to I don't think Arsenal will do anything. And I think it'll come down to these... It used to come down to these head-to-heads. What I think, how the league has changed now, and this is another reason I don't think City will win the league. 2018-19, when it was Liverpool, Man City going head-to-head, you were just praying that you got the better of the head-to-heads. And the seasons that we never quite won the league, we missed out by a point, was because we didn't have the better of the head-to-heads over the two games. And the problem is that with that, you're hoping that other teams can nick points off City. City were just far too good. They were just blowing everyone away. Hence why they were getting 100 points a season. This season, they're dropping points. Newcastle are snatching points off them. Spurs are grabbing points off teams. Chelsea are grabbing points off teams.
All I can think of when you're talking is me having to give you 1,400 quid and my ass is going.
But you know what I mean? You look at Chelsea.
I wish the bet was I'll take City, you take Liverpool.
How often does Pep concede 4 goals and draw 4-4? That's the first time in his career that's happened.
That was an interesting game. I actually thought City would have battered them because I thought they were so fragile.
That's what I mean, they're dropping points to teams normally.
They had 2 lads with the points to prove, Sterling and Cole. You know what I mean?
Palmer, yeah. I just think this game will be really interesting. I think it's at the Etihad. I think Liverpool will win. I don't think we'll get beat. I think it'll be either a draw or a win for Liverpool. And I think if we can do that, it's going to be massive. But I don't think it will rely so much on the head-to-heads. I think it will be how you get on against the other teams. I really do.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, I think, this season and other seasons.
Who do you think will cause you a problem
What, as in team-wise, as in... I think that the league will finish Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Spurs. I think that'll be the top 4. And I think the teams
Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Spurs.
yeah.
And you don't think Villa will...
I think it'll be then United, then Villa. No. I think he's doing a great job, isn't he? Unai Emery. He's doing an
They might
amazing
not
job.
quite have the depth, eh?
Yeah. But I mean, they've got great owners, haven't they? So who knows in the next couple of years? Like you've just said, things can quickly change. But I think...
I wish we'd took Watkins. Yeah.
He should have took Kane, to be fair.
You can't. Do you think Levy would have sold him to United?
Probably not. Let's touch on him, actually, big hands, because I know we're both big fans of him.
No.
It reminds me a
Breath of
little
fresh
bit
air.
of like Klopp's first season at Liverpool, And it was just
I
like,
get
come
it.
and go, press, let's go, something new, charismatic with the press.
Yeah.
Everyone liked him.
Yeah.
He's become a bit like that, hasn't he?
Yeah. Klopp cringes me out.
Oh, fucking
He really
hell, mate.
cringes me out. I love his... By the way, if you
This is
play him
gonna
for
be
him,
his
I bet...
first and only time on the sports. Why? Oh,
It's just
God.
a bit of a cock. It's just a bit of a cock. That's me.
Why?
Listen, if you're playing for him,
That's just purely you being a United fan.
I'm not sure it is. I don't know. You're doing great, by the way.
Come on, you can't just say that and
I
not
think
say
that
nothing.
I can't pronounce his surname, but I think
That's the Coughlin.
he comes across fair. He might, by the way, he might be playing the game, but the way he spoke about the refs the other week, I thought was fantastic. You don't get many people who've Prem managers coming out who've just been stung by the refs. I don't think you get that from Klopp, really. But it's each their own.
You wouldn't have got it from Fergie,
He's a
though.
more likeable person.
But you wouldn't have got that from Fergie, though, either.
No, and if I was a competitor, if I was supporting a team that was in competition with United, I would have probably hated Fergie, really. I respect him, but I think Klopp's he comes across a bit fake, I've got to be honest. And I'm not talking about his nashes. It's the whole dramatics on the sideline, and it might be him, but I just feel like he's a bit of a performer, a bit of a... I don't know. Maybe some of your listeners, followers will get where I'm coming from, maybe not, but something a bit... Just not quite having him.
Really?
And mate, by the way, if I met him for a pint or whatever, which I never will, he might have a completely different opinion. But
I obviously massively disagree.
thought you might. Yeah, I thought you might.
I think he's and I think that's the one thing that scares me over the next couple of years. I think what's I think settled a lot of Liverpool fans is the fact that this team at the moment seems to be like a Liverpool 2.0. He seems to be like he's got the bit between his teeth again to kind of go again with this team, because I think the worst thing for Liverpool would have been is him to get replacements in the summer and him not quite to click and us to have another average season, because I think if we'd done another average season like we did last season,
Then
I think Klopp then starts thinking, what's the fucking point of me being here?
Yeah.
The problem is though, the great thing is for us is, the new lads have come in, Soboslai in particular has been great.
Yeah. What do you think of McAllister? You think he's delivered what he thought?
I think he's playing out of position a bit at the minute. I think he's not performed, as well as he could. I think he will be a player in the next, as we go on through the season.
Do you think
I think he'll improve. I don't think he's set the world alight.
What do you think of Nunes?
Captain Chaos, isn't he?
Fucking really like him, mate. Big.
I do.
Reminds me a bit of Torres in terms of, probably going to get hammered for that, but
His athleticism, I think.
yeah, just a big. You don't want to play against him. I think when he clicks, it's going to really.
But I think we've mentioned this in the past. I think that the problem he's got is he's got that sitter in him, hasn't he? And it's whether they become a little bit too often.
Yeah.
Because you become from being someone who's got so much potential to be in, But I think if he can click, I mean, I seen a stat the other day in his first 50 games, I think for Liverpool, him and Suarez had scored the same amount of goals. So you don't normally kind of compare Suarez and Nunes to think of like being that good.
What a player!
Suarez was probably the best player I've ever seen. With my own eyes.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Who's yours, by the way, on that one?
Zidane. God, do you want me to go down United or the most beautiful player I've ever seen live?
You got that flies.
Zidane. It's been about 3 times now. Get around, mate.
So what you saw as Zidane with your own?
Yeah, I would have. Zidane's the most.
What was that when he Real Madrid against United, was it?
Yeah, Juventus as well. Juventus,
okay.
obviously, in the Champions League semi-final when Keane got the second booking. And
Was you at that game, yeah?
no, I wasn't there. Sorry, but it was watching him at Old
Right,
Trafford.
okay, yeah.
I'd say Zidane was the most
Yeah, I never saw Zidane play.
complete player.
Yeah.
Massive, hard, quick.
Nasty as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but angelic on the ball. Technique, the best I've seen. Yeah.
We were having a little debate before as well, and even as a Liverpool fan, I think I'll probably have all Reds against me when I say this, but I actually think Rooney is the best player to come out of Liverpool. I think he's the best English talent. I think Wayne Rooney.
Absolute phenomenon. Listen, I love, with a fear factor, Gerrard. When he got the ball for Liverpool against United, I was shitting it. I get that feeling. I got the same feeling I got with Henry, actually. Something's going to happen. He's a match winner. Can drag a team through. Yeah. And Rooney was very similar on it.
I also think as well, we spoke yesterday, I think he had just a perfect career as well. Boyhood club, goes to, as much as it pains me, the biggest club in England, wins absolutely everything, finishes off at his boyhood club, and then something I'd love to do as well as a player, if I ever was, try something new.
Yeah.
Goes to America.
Yeah.
I think he's ticked so many boxes
Yeah,
there.
he has. And now management, to be fair.
And now management, yeah. Not going great, but I think he's been given a bit of a poison chalice there with Birmingham.
He has, and if you looked at the first 5 games, I think it is 4 or 5, you couldn't have picked harder.
Yeah.
They were 2-0 up against Ipswich, who were flying.
Yeah.
Conceded 2 in the last 11 minutes. That's, Middlesbrough.
We started awful, but have been flying since.
They have, yeah. No, but Rooney as a player, got to be top 3 or 4 favourites of all time, I'd say.
Yeah. On that, just to go a little bit off football for a second, one thing I did want to talk about was in the news this week. Ronny O'Sullivan, lucky enough, got to go on a few runs with me, bang into his running, loves his running.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. And he lived in Liverpool for a couple of years, He loves Scousers as well.
Right.
Got loads of mates who are Scousers, so I anyway got introduced to him. I went on a few runs with him and held me out when I ended up breaking that world record. Really nice guy.
Oh, no. Nice little drop there.
Little drop there, yeah. And anyway, it's been well documented. He's had his issues over the years, and he's a little bit like, he's at loggerheads at the minute with the snooker association, and basically saying he'll quit. He's like, they're holding him to ransom about the amount of games he plays or where he can play, where he can't play, and he's just turned around and said, you know what, I'll just quit then.
Yeah.
Which would be a crying shame. I think 7-time world champion.
How old is he now?
He must be in his mid-40s, I think. I think about 45, I think, maybe. But I think what a shame that'd be. But it brings on the whole debate of, he's just done a documentary with David Beckham, I think, was there as well, hasn't he? Had his documentary, I think, the premiere of it.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. But
Some
anyway,
of my mates watching it last night, they said it's fantastic.
Is it?
So, yeah. Well,
yeah, I've not seen it yet. So, but it brings on that debate of like the GOAT. I mean, I think he's probably the GOAT of snooker. But I think if I was going to ask you to name 3 GOATs in sport, could open it up.
Wow.
We can kind of debate and discuss it.
I think mad in it because some things immediately come to your mind, and then if I probably had a chance to reflect on it, I might change.
Oh
it.
yeah, they'll probably change it after 6 more beers later.
The first one that's come into my head is Ballesteros.
Really? Yeah. See, I'm not a massive golfer. You play golf, don't you?
Yeah, bang average, but would have been one.
Why him though? Because would you not just say Tiger Woods?
Well, again, I could reflect on it. I don't know.
What made you think Seve though? Like
no
straight
idea.
away?
Just came to my mind. Don't know. Probably a bit of a maverick in some ways, unorthodox, taught himself. I'm not sure. Next one's Maradona. Don't know why it's come to mind, but I was always been a big fan as a kid.
I think he's the greatest ever. I think. I think he might have been eclipsed.
I was going to actually say, it's a bullshit question, isn't it? And it's like when people talk about Messi versus Ronaldo. You can't compare him. It's not apples with apples. It's just the different position. Different
are you Messi or Ronaldo though in general?
No. Can I just say, why can't you just say they're both unbelievable?
I do.
But there's always this, what happens is your ego takes over, where you've got to prove that you're right with whatever argument. And
all right then, if you could go and watch either or, who you picking?
I watch Ronaldo every week, don't I? So
I suppose I forget.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
they're just two
On
different.
that note, it's just a little
boring
side note.
answer.
Did you see the old Saudi money's working well? Because a few years ago, Gerrard was on was interviewed and he got asked the whole Messi Ronaldo, and he was like, "Oh, I'm team Messi," and then he's done an interview with the Saudi Pro League, and
He's changed it.
he's now team Ronaldo, is he?
Bloody hell, money talk.
That's
eh?
Saudi money, man.
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that must have been hard for him to say.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. God.
I think for me,
Then you go into R9 and
yeah, him in that Inter Milan strip, mate's one of my favourite pictures in football.
then you go to Romario and Stoichkov, who absolutely saw the arse out of
yeah.
United, you know.
I think for me, Sportsman, I think one of the greats, I think straight away, I just think Michael Jordan. I think for him to, get a lad from Bootle at, 10 years of age talking about the Chicago Bulls, like, what the fuck, do you know what I mean? The impact he had on basketball, world sport, and then years later you get to watch the Netflix documentary, you see the type of character he was, the type of player he was. Not always nice, by the way. You know, very harsh.
Ruthless, to be fair.
Yeah, ruthless. His teammates don't always speak glowingly of him. But I think he's definitely got to be in the top 3, Michael Jordan. I just think, absolutely insane.
Go on, who else then? I'm just trying.
I think I'd go down the route of
Or Michael Johnson, the runner, or
the runner, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or Usain Bolt, maybe.
Bolt, Jesus. Yeah.
I'd say Michael Jordan's definitely in there. I would say,
Are you talking about being the best at what you do? Or are you talking about transcending countries, genres?
I guess when you think of what the greatest of all time, Sportsman, it's like it probably is someone who does transcend sport through the ages.
Well, everyone
Someone
talks about Ali, don't they?
Well, yeah, he'd have to be up there, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think it probably, for me,
Puff, Mike Tyson, Bosch.
you put a gun to my head, I'd say Muhammad Ali, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. I think they're the 3 greatest sports.
And you have to go different sports, do you?
No, listen, go what you want. But I just think they're 3 people who, Mike Tyson now, when I'm sitting there bored or if I'm hungover with a cup of tea and there's nothing to put on the telly, I will put on YouTube Mike Tyson's top 10 knockouts.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? We'll never get bored. Tiger Woods, you think, again, not a golfer, but like, wow, what he's done. Just incredible. And then like we said, Michael Jordan. I think if you're gonna put a gun to my head now and just say, I don't think many people could argue that. It wouldn't be surprised that they'd make most people's top 5 or at least top 10. I think those 3.
Right, okay. I'll go Zidane, Mike Tyson, Bolt.
Yeah. I think you can't argue with them either, can you?
Well, you could list 10, couldn't you?
Yeah. I got to meet Mike Tyson once,
Did you?
Yeah. Mate, he's only my height. I'm only 5'10". He's my height.
That's what's so impressive about him.
Yeah, mate, but he's like that.
Yeah.
I think I've got a photo of my arm round and I'm like on a shoulder blade.
And I think he was the hardest man in the world at 19, just turning 20. And I got pubes when I was just turning 18. The confidence to be at that level, at that age, and be so explosive, to be leathering people who are 6, 7, 8 inches tall and mint, slim.
Yeah. Now, who do you think is win, by the way? There's a big boxing thing going on at the moment, which is a bit of a piss take. They've announced this whole, how have they announced it? What's it called? The Day of Dawn or something in Saudi. So you got Joshua not fighting Deontay Wilder, which is a whole other, thing in itself. I always think, though, you're bringing goats back in eras and stuff like that. I know it's impossible to do, but you're given his height and his size. Tyson Fury, 6'9",
Yeah.
against a Mike Tyson. It would look like a freak show, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I always think we spoke.
By the way, do you think Fury got beat fair and square?
I don't think it was like. No,
Really?
I don't think it was a massive robbery. I think it could have went either way. I think
It just shows that how
Fury.
little I thought it was scandalous.
What that Ngannou should have
I thought it
won.
was scandalous, yeah.
No, I wouldn't have said it was scandalous.
Right, well then.
But I think I did initially think that, and then I spoke to, might have been Gary or someone else.
Someone who knows what they're talking about.
And then I've kind of dropped my stance a little bit.
Right, well, yeah.
Yeah. But no, at
Maybe
the time...
I shouldn't shoot my mouth off about subjects I don't know too much about.
I'm the same. I'm
I just
boxing's
thought
biggest
this
fan.
is... I actually felt like Fury was like... The body language was like, fair play, you beat me at the end. Knowing that the decision was going to go his way.
Yeah.
Well, go on, what did your pal say to you? What was the reason?
No, Gary was just a bit like, now if you look at back, he probably was up 1 or 2 rounds. It wasn't like so scandalous.
Right, okay.
But I think
So
for me,
I've used very dramatic language, or I haven't scandalous.
that's what I done, and I shoot from the hip.
And someone makes you look like a right cop when they tell you.
I made this podcast is literally just highlights of me shooting from the hip, and then backing down a week later.
Oh, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, fucking big time. But no, mate. So if I want to finish off on some predictions then for the weekend, you've got obviously Manchester versus Liverpool.
Should we have a look at the fixtures?
Usually, obviously, travelling to Goodison.
Yeah.
I'm actually on my flight lands at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to hopefully get in for the second half.
Right, well, let's go through it then. So City, Liverpool.
I'm going to
Go with your head, not your heart.
Yeah, no, I want to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Wow. Okay.
Where are you going?
I'll go with... Scouse has just messaged me there, Joe McLaughlin, big Liverpool fan. I will go City 3-1.
Well,
Next one, Burnley, West Ham.
you know what? I'm a fan of David Moyes. I've spoken about this in the past. I don't understand some of the criticism he gets. I think it's so harsh. It really is. And it was at Burnley, did you say?
Yeah, away at Burnley.
I think 2-0 West Ham.
Yeah.
Burnley can't buy a point at the minute, can they?
Yeah. A bit, yeah. 2 goals in West Ham's favour. Luton Palace.
I've actually picked Palace in my last man standing.
Oh.
So I'm going to stick with Palace, and I'm going to say 3-1.
Okay, I think they're on a bad run. Not as bad as Luton, but they're on a bad run. I'll go with 1-1. Newcastle Chelsea.
Well, that's a good game.
It's a crack. It's got to be full of goals.
Do you know what, mate? Looking down these fixtures, I think there could be a lot of away wins today. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
I agree with you. I think they've got the tails up. Go on then. Forest, Brighton.
Again, Brighton. I think well, Brighton aren't playing nowhere near the team.
Forest
they
are
were
scoring
last year.
goals, though, aren't they? In fairness, I like that Gibbs White. They've lost Johnson.
I'm not just a massive fan of Brighton. Brighton's manager.
Yeah, bad run again.
But no, they're not playing great this season, of course not. But I expect them to have more than enough to be Forest.
Ferguson will end up at United.
For 100 mil. Another pants down United shot.
I think he'll be 100 mil, yeah. Unfortunately, well, not that it's my money, so why should I care? 2-2 Forest Brighton. Sheffield Bournemouth.
I think that'll be a draw 1-1. Both teams who are just awful and destined for the drop go for 1-1.
1-0 Sheffield. We watch this back, can we, and see who's right and wrong? Right, Brentford, Arsenal.
Arsenal. Mate, there's all away wins there, apart from one.
Oh, that's a spicy one. Tottenham Villa.
I'm going to go draw in that, actually, 2-2.
Villa win for me. Everton United.
Do you think Villa are going to beat Spurs?
Yeah, I do. Just think Spurs might hit a bit of a dip on the back of what's happened. Let's see.
Oh, of course, yeah. Got a few injuries as well, actually. Yeah, you might be right. I'm going, yeah.
Go on, Everton United. I don't even want to say it.
I think a draw. I think ordinarily I would have said United, but I think what we started the show by talking about Everton's, this kind of siege mentality. I think they'd be right up for it. At Goodison as well, always a hard place to go.
United concede early a lot of the time, and we've got to ride that early storm with the atmosphere. We're due a bit of luck. We are due a bit of luck. I'm going to go 2-1 United, and I think there's going to be something really controversial in there.
Yeah?
Yep.
Happy days. What time do you play? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
We're Sunday, sorry, 5:30. And then you've got Fulham Wolves on the Monday, which is meh. Who really cares? Probably bored everyone to death anyway, so...
I bored everyone to death every week, mate. It's fine. Have you enjoyed the first your first sportscast?
I'll be surprised if anybody stayed listening this long. Monotone voice, not really offered much, slightly embarrassed, really want a beer. Sat in the sun with you, mate. So apologies, everyone, if it was dog shit.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Top
you very
man.
much, mate, for jumping in. Listen, yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. Sorry it's not in the studio, but again, I'm lucky enough to be away with a couple of my mates in Marbella. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.